sessions are important, but managing recovery before and after key session is more important. And that's probably part of the way I compare my practice 10 years ago to now. I still believe that at the right timing, it's important to do some key session and hard session on the track, but I think it's really important to be careful about how the athlete comes to those sessions, what's the few days and few weeks before, and how the athlete will recover from those sessions. So what are you planning the next few days? And I think that's something I improve in my practice over the year, be more careful about recovery of the athlete before and after the key session. So let's say at some point I was planning a typical week of 3 track sessions per week, classical Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and every session were really hard. So the athletes were able to manage that schedule, were successful early in the season, but late on the season they were exhausted and not able to race at their best. Even if there's some difference between individual athletes, most of my athletes are training on it 2 times on the track per week now, and we have more time between every hard session to make sure they recover. And if there's 2 track sessions during the week, most of the time one of the 2 is targeted as the most challenging one, and I put some emphasis of being in control. Let's say if we work about the threshold, educate them about the target pace, and it's not because you go faster and you go harder in every session that you will be fitter, especially if you want to be at your best late on the season. Learn from past season, analyze when the athlete was at his best. So it's a good exercise to look at a couple of athletes in your group, different specialty, some 800 meters, some 5K, some steeplechaser, what the race they did over the last outdoor season, the last cross-country, indoor, when they were at their best. And after that, reflect about if they were not at their best at the race you were looking for, what you can change in your training program. And we all do mistakes. It's not, we should have the capability to look at our program over the last year, over the last season, and say there's some stuff to improve. None of us is perfect. There's always some place where we can improve. It's also really important if we want to help the athletes to improve long-term, to target some priority. And prioritize is accepting some difficult decision. And I will take example with Jean-Simon after Worlds last year. He was really excited, best results ever, and he wanted to do everything this year. Let's say, hey, in a few weeks there's the Road World Championship in Riga, then I want to do Pan Am, then I want to do cross country, then I want to do indoor. Say, hey, remind what's bringing you at this level, and I give him some choice. Okay, this Road World Championship is in a few weeks after you have Pan Am. We have to pick one or the other, because I think if you do both, maybe you will find a way to be successful at both, but it will not be a good way to be at your best next summer at the Olympic Games. And we decide for some reason to pick Pan Am to have the experience of a big game and being able to deliver when it counts. Even if he was not at his best about about steeplechase fitness, because it was during fall season, he did a couple of cross-country races and focused on his base, but the rationale behind going to Pan Am was when you will be on the start line at the Olympics, it's almost impossible that everything in your year have been perfect. And you will have to develop this capability to be on the start line, trust yourself, and be the best that you can be on that day. And that's what we're going to practice at Pan Am. You're not on your best steeplechase fitness ever, but you're on the start line, and I want you to focus and say, I'm the best version of myself over 3K steeple